Chapter Book 5 Pete's Day at the Zoo. Created by Starfall.
Table of Contents.
Chapter 1 The Big Day. The big day was here at last. Pete was glad to see it was sunny outside. It had been wet and chilly all week. Pete quickly made his bed and got dressed. He put on his hat and backpack. Pete checked his piggy bank. He took out all the cash he had and put it in his backpack. Pete's little sis Dot called out to him. "The bus is here," she said. "It's time to go." Pete said, "I'll see you when I get back." Chapter 2 The Bus Ride. Pete hopped onto the bus. All his pals were there. He sat down by Luke. Pete said, "We are lucky it didn't rain." Luke said, "I know. I don't like it when the rain soaks into my jeans." Luke was just as happy as Pete. He could barely sit still. Luke called out, "Who knows a song we can sing?" Tate taught the kids to sing "The Wheels on the Bus." Chapter 3 Off the Bus. At last, the bus reached the zoo. Luke and Pete would be last to get off the bus. Their seat was at the very back.
Animals.
Luke and Pete chatted while they waited for their turn. Pete asked, "Have you ever been to the zoo before?" Luke said, "Only once. I was little, just 4 years old."
Whales.
There were huge signs hanging on the zoo gate. "Look," said Luke, "we can see whales here. This is a big day."
Shop. Hawk.
Pete thought about his little sis. He thought about the cash in his backpack. He looked into the shop. "It really is a big day," he said to himself. Chapter 4 Mr. Tot Leads.
Gift shop.
The kids lined up outside the gate. Mr. Tot had been picked to lead their team. Mr. Tot said, "I am the head of this team. We have one team rule. Keep an eye on each other."
Deer.
Mr. Tot asked the kids which animal they wanted to see first. The kids chatted. They asked one another about it. Luke said, "We would like to see the whales first." Chapter 5 The Hawk.
Hawk. Hawk.
The team found the whale house. It had a long line. Mr. Tot said, "Why don't we see the hawk show while we wait for the line to go down?" A man came out with a hawk tied to his glove. He said, "Hawks have very good eyes." The man took the tie off the hawk. He tossed some raw meat into the air. Every head turned to see if the hawk would catch it. The hawk soared through the air. It caught the meat. The people were in awe. "Good catch!" they cheered. The kids clapped. They were glad they had paused to see the hawk show. Chapter 6. Let's take the train.
Train. Deer.
After the hawk show was over, they went back to the whale house. "The line is still too long," cried Pete. Mr. Tot told the group, "We'll have to wait. Let's take a ride on the train and see the deer." The kids saw many kinds of deer. "I know that one," said Luke. "It is a white-tailed deer." Tate said, "If it has a rack, it is a buck. A buck is a male deer. The females are called does." "How do you know that?" asked Mr. Tot. "We read it in a book," said Luke. The train crawled on the tracks. It crossed over a bridge. "The deer are grazing," said Mr. Tot. "That means they are eating grass." The team got off the train. Pete said, "I didn't know there were so many kinds of deer." "Look," said Tate, "there's no line at the whale house." Chapter 7. Where are the whales? "At last we can see the whales like we planned," cried Luke. The kids climbed up the rows and slid into their seats. There was a huge glass tank with a girl floating in it. "Where are the whales?" asked Tate. Mr. Tot shrugged. The girl hopped out of the tank and climbed up onto a high plank. "What is that in her hand?" asked Luke. "It looks like a blue fish," said Mr. Tot. All at once a whale leaped out of the tank and grabbed the fish. "This was cool. I am glad we got to see this," said Pete. Tate said, "I am glad we sat up here, or we would be soaked." Chapter 8. It's time to leave the zoo. "Look at the time. It's about 2:00. Time for us to leave," said Mr. Tot. Pete thought about his plan. "Wait, Mr. Tot," he cried. "May I please go to the shop?"
Shop.
Mr. Tot and the team waited for Pete. Pete bought a little whale. It looked just like the one he saw at the whale house. The kids hopped on the bus. They told one another about the animals they had seen. Pete, Tate, and Luke heard about boars, eels, yaks, and rams. They told about the hawk, the deer, and the whale. When Pete got home, he told his little sis Dot all about his big day at the zoo. He said, "Now, close your eyes." He put the little whale right into her hands.
The end.